me looks like. Show me what our movement 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 looks like. Good afternoon, family. Buenas tardes a todos. Bonsoir tout, no? Yeah, bonsoir, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today. Thankers, faith leaders, advocates, organizers, workers, students, and allies, to all of you who traveled from near and far to stand together during this critical moment. Gracias a todos por estar aquí, de lejos y cerca, por estar aquí, todos juntos hoy, durante este gran momento. My name is Ama Frimpong. I am here today representing We Are CASA. And today we gather outside of the Supreme Court of the United States of America, the highest court of the land. We gather outside of this building today because of something devastating that happened inside the building this morning.
Familia, family, friends in these United States of America, in front of the Supreme Court. My name is Gerline Joseph. I am the co-founder and executive director of the Haitian Bridge Alliance. Please make no mistake that what we experience today may bend us, but it will not break us.
That's right.
What the Supreme Court said today may hurt us, but it will not destroy us.
Right.
The Haitian community, the Syrian community, 1.3 million TPS holders stand strong, united, undivided, because we know the last word has not yet come.
That's right.
That's right.
Today, we are hurting, but as we continue to fight, we know the people, the families, the mothers who are carrying and holding and crying and not knowing what tomorrow will bring. But together united, we stand and we'll continue to push. We will march, we will testify, we will pray, and we are asking those able to vote to vote.
That's right.
Yes, the Supreme Court today stand on the wrong side of history, but we know together we can change the courses of things to come.
Yes, that's right. Thank you, Gerline. So let's talk about what happened today. Today, the Supreme Court delivered a devastating decision. The court sharply limited the power of courts to review the government's decisions ending TPS, making it so much harder for immigrant communities to challenge these unjust, harmful actions. The court also refused to hold the government accountable for ending Haiti's TPS, rejecting claims that the decision was motivated by racial discrimination. Shame. Shame. Now, let me say this in non-legal terms. Let me make very clear what happened today. Today, the Supreme Court of the United States once again signed off on the Trump administration's reign of racist, white supremacist terror.
Yeah, they did. That's what they did.
The court has signaled to the Trump administration that it is okay to treat us like we are not human, to treat us like we do not have rights. It is painful. Shame. It is painful. But let's be clear. Our humanity was never up for debate.
Right.
Our dignity, never up for debate.
That's right.
Never.
And our right to belong has never depended on the opinion of any judge, of any court, any politician, or any administration. It is not up for debate.
As we're heading into celebrating the 250 years of this nation ours, created on stolen land and genocide of indigenous people,
Yeah.
built on the blood of enslaved Africans, and sustained by immigrants, we must continue to fight against injustice. As we are at the cusp of 250 years, decisions that create a second-class citizen in this country, that rip families from each other, that creates a deportation machine, cannot be the norm as we get into another 20 years. That is why we continue to stand with all people, understanding our humanity, our survival, our thriving, all interconnected. There is no United States without TPS holders. There is no United States without immigrants. There is no United States without family, descendant of the formerly enslaved people in this America. And there is no United States without indigenous people. Please understand, whether your family came from the Mayflower or they are right now asking to save their lives through TPS, this is what we are facing today.
Yes. Yo, I'm not going to lie. This ruling is a major setback. It is a disappointment. But another strong truth that we need to say loud and boldly, that it is not the end of our movement. It is not the end of our movement. As a matter of fact, if anything, today reminds us of why we fight. Today reminds us of why we organize. For decades, immigrant communities have won every major victory, not because it was handed down by a court, not because it was handed down by those in positions of power, but because we, the ordinary people, demanded it. We fought for it, and we won it. Yes, courts matter. Elections matter. Congress matters. Let me tell you what makes history, though. Movements make history. Movements change the world. And this movement is not going anywhere. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Sí se puede. Se puede.
We do capable. We do capable. All right. We welcome our fierce leaders, and we are going to move into our sister Solange before we head over. And Solange is from Cameroon, a proud member of CASA, a proud member of this movement, fighting for all of us. Solange?
Yes, we can. 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 Yes, Lord.
My name is Solange. I am a proud immigrant from Cameroon. A proud member of We Are CASA.
Yes.
And I've been calling this country my home for years. I am here today because my life and the lives of hundreds of thousands of TPS holders across this country are at stake. Today, the Supreme Court issues a devastating decision that puts TPS holders, including myself and other families, in even greater uncertainty. For many of us, this ruling is not just about policy. It is about our homes, our families, our future, the uncertainty if we may even live or die. TPS holders have built lives in this country. We are nurses caring for patients, workers supporting our economy, parents raising American children, and community leaders set neighborhoods. We have contributed to this nation for years and years because we have been promised and because this is our home, the only place we call home.
That's right.
Yet, despite everything we have given, we continue to live in limbo. We are forced to renew temporary protection again and again.
That's right.
Never knowing whether we will be able to stay in the communities we have helped build. Today's decision is a painful reminder that temporary protections are not enough. Hundreds of thousands of people who have lived, worked, and contributed here for years should not have their future determined by changing administrations or court battles. We are home and we belong here.
That's right.
I am heartbroken that the Supreme Court did not do the right thing today to secure our safety. This is why we need Congress to act now.
That's right.
We need to bring their hearts and souls to build this nation. We will continue to organize. We will continue to advocate. And we will continue to fight.
Yes.
Because our communities deserve stability, dignity, and freedom. This is not the end, my people. We will keep fighting. Our home is here. We belong here. Thank you. Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear sister Solange. Thank you for reminding us what is at stake. Thank you for reminding us what we need to do. Yes, temporary protections are not enough. Congress must. The lives of over 1 million TPS holders should never depend on the politics of a single administration. We need permanent protections. We need citizenship for TPS holders. Thank you, Solange. And with that, I have the pleasure of introducing our next speaker up, who has proven time and time again to be a champion, a fierce champion for our immigrant community. Senator Van Hollen, please come on in.
Thank you. Thank you, CASA. We are CASA.
That's right.
Thank you, the National TPS Alliance. Thank you, Solange.
Thank you.
This is not the end of the road.
That's right.
It is the beginning of the next chapter in our fight for justice. And I'm pleased to be here with members of the House of Representatives who you're going to hear from, because today the Supreme Court did issue a terrible and unjust decision. You saw a Trump-packed majority of the Supreme Court ignore their constitutional obligations. They essentially said they're not going to review this case. They are the third branch of government. They're supposed to be a co-equal branch, and yet they bow down to the Trump administration. And as the dissent said, as Justice Kagan said in her dissent, they completely ignored the requirements that people have to go through before making the kind of determination this administration did. So we have to take up this next stage of the fight. We do need to remind people, and Solange, thank you, and all the TPS holders who are here, remind people who these members of our community are. These are members of our community who we've determined it would be too dangerous for them to return home to their countries of origin. And they're people who've become a part of the fabric of our community. Many people here for decades, working in the United States, contributing to our communities, raising wonderful families. And they are here legally. And this administration that claims that it's only going after the worst of the worst, this puts a lie to those claims. So what do we do at this moment? This is the moment where Congress does need to step up.
Yeah.
And the House did pass legislation with respect to Haiti TPS.
That's right.
And the Senate needs to take this up and pass it immediately.
Right away.
We will bring up a vote on it in the United States Senate. We need all of you to call upon all of our colleagues to support us in that effort. Are we going to do that?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
And then we also need to put in place a moratorium on any deportations resulting from this outrageous and wrong decision. And we need to make it clear that the Congress will not appropriate any funds to carry out this unjust action. Are we going to do that?
Yes.
And finally, we do need a permanent solution. And that is why I introduced a number of years ago a piece of legislation called the Secure Act. As the name indicates, it provides security for people who are here under TPS and a path first to permanent residence and then to citizenship. Can we gather to get that done? Because that is the only way to assure and provide confidence and fairness to these individuals and these families. And so it is absolutely true that this is just the next stage in the movement. And all of you know what the fight for justice has been about to this date. And all of you being here makes clear that we are committed to continuing this effort to make sure justice is done. Nobody should be put in the position that they are right now. And it's up to all of us. It's up to all of us to make true on our commitment to justice and fight back until we win. Yes, we can.
Yes.
Thank you all very much. Today marks the beginning of the next chapter, but we are going to succeed because our cause is just. And I want to thank everybody for being part of it.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Thank you so much, Senator. And right now, I have the privilege of introducing one of our justice warriors, a daughter of immigrants who stands with us to thick and thin. Now, I present you Congresswoman Clark.
Good afternoon, everyone. Would all the members here present please just file in? We want to make sure that everyone is heard today, and the list is right here wedged under this mic. Greetings, everyone, and good afternoon. I'm Congresswoman Yvette D. Clark, Chair of the Congressional Black Caucus for the 119th session of Congress, co-chair of the House Haiti Caucus, and proud representative of New York's 9th Congressional District, serving Central and Southwest Brooklyn. Shame. Shame. Shame on this court. And like each of one of you here today, I'm filled with righteous rage and moral indignation at the fact that once again, the MAGA corrupted Supreme Court has proven there are no lengths it will not go to disgrace itself in service to Donald Trump, especially when it involves hurting the most vulnerable people in the world. After all, the court told him today that he can ignore the law, he can abandon any semblance of human decency by prematurely terminating TPS for Haiti and Syria, instantly exposing more than 350,000 members of our community to deportation. To every TPS holder who has now lost legal status, for our communities that will soon lose neighbors, loved ones, business leaders, as well as those who work in the industries that keep our communities vibrant, and for America's moral standing in our community that continues to collapse under the weight of this president's relentless humanitarian betrayal, this is devastating on a scale that shocks the conscience. From the moment they arrived in the United States, Haitian and Syrian TPS holders and so many others from around the world have dedicated themselves to contributing mightily to our communities. They have built businesses, built families, and built up our communities. And through their undeniable strength of character and resilient spirit, they have become an indispensable part of this country's social fabric. While the crisis confronting their home nations only continues to escalate, with conditions so severe that our own State Department has deemed them too dangerous for Americans to travel to, mind you, they have come to embody exactly what it means to be Americans, just as the many waves of immigrants before them have done since this country's founding. Perhaps if these were white South Africans running from a fake crisis, the story would be different. But no, these are people of color fleeing real harm that Donald Trump and his cronies on the court and his lackeys in Congress know full well of. And they have no desire to alleviate their pain, but instead aim only to become active participants in it. Just as SCOTUS is more than eager to prove to this president that it has no interest in serving its constitutional role as a check on the executive's power, but instead only as an enabler of the worst of his abuses. For too long, Congress has stood by of TPS holders whose lives depend on it. Today, I've introduced the Diversity Visa Protection and Modernization Act. The Diversity Visa Program has long reflected the best of our nation by expanding lawful pathways to opportunity and strengthening the rich cultural fabric that defines America. Yet, in recent years, extreme administrative actions have threatened to undermine this vital program. This legislation restores certainty and transparency and accountability by ensuring that sweeping suspension of the program can proceed only with congressional approval. I cannot emphasize how cruel and inhumane this administration's anti-immigrant campaign has been in the past 2 years. These actions are un-American and devalue the principles and foundation our nation has been built upon. I will continue alongside all of these colleagues and then some who are standing here today and advocacy groups from across this nation, community organizers, to further the fight for our immigrant neighbors. Together, we will restore an America that upholds the fundamental values and that starts with ending this administration's reign of terror. Let me thank you all for your advocacy, for being here today. And now I bring to the podium one of the vice chairs of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, Joaquin Castro.
Thank you, Representative Clark, and thank you for the folks who have convened us today, the organizers. I'm Joaquin Castro, and I proudly represent part of Texas, my hometown of San Antonio, and am one of the vice chairs of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. And want to acknowledge really quickly Delia Ramirez from Illinois and Analila Mejia from New Jersey, caucus members who are here as well. There may be others here that I just don't see right now. As you all know, for years, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus has stood with TPS holders. We fought for them, to protect them. But today's decision by the Supreme Court is shameful. It's cruel. And today, the Supreme Court decided to become a partner in Donald Trump's mass deportation campaign, rather than a branch of government that carries out legitimate judicial review. Now, let's keep in mind who these folks are. Hundreds of thousands of people and potentially millions of others will be subject now to deportation. There are folks who are raising families, people who are building businesses, they're healthcare workers, they're teachers, they're folks who are building the economy of this country. And Donald Trump and the Supreme Court now are showing them the exit to our country. Now, bear in mind that the places that these folks come from are places that our own State Department tells Americans that they should not travel to. Consider this. Many of us as Americans, when folks travel to Mexico and they talk about going to Mexico, for example, even though I know Mexico is not part of the decision today, they talk about how they don't even want to drink the water. They're fearful of the water. You're talking about places where there is real violence and gangs and danger. And yet that's exactly where our government is now sending folks. It's absolutely wrong. And I stand with Yvette and others who are committed to make sure that Congress does something about this and acts swiftly to change it. Thank y'all so much. Let's keep up the fight.
I owe you one of these things.
Thank you so much to our representatives who are continuing to fight for us every single day, especially after we lived through a decision like the one that we received this morning. We know that we have allies, we have partners, we have champions who are putting our community first and are advocating for the well-being and for justice for our community. It is my
Let me see if I can text because it's so bright.
Yes. I'll use that to you. Okay, go ahead, Caroline. Do you want to?
Well, thank you for your patience. As we are doing things, it's moving, right? Our lives keeps moving. So right now we have one of our fierce justice warriors who have stood and actually made sure that we passed in the House a discharge petition to upheld and save the lives of Haitians that will then save the lives of so many other people. Congresswoman Ayanna Presley.
617-513-617. Ayana has sent it.
On April 16th, my colleagues and I celebrated the passage with 224 votes, a discharge petition to extend temporary protective status for 360,000 of our Haitian neighbors. 10 Republicans joined us in that vote and 1 independent. They represented states like Ohio, Florida, New York. People across the aisle, well aware of the contributions of our Haitian neighbors every single day. And on that day, April 16th, we celebrated. It was the first time we passed the immigration discharge petition in the 40 years. Yesterday, we celebrated in the midst of World Cup, a victory by the Haitian team. It was a moment of jubilation and joy in the face of anti-Blackness and xenophobia. Having been in the crosshairs of this hostile administration, and now today, impacted by this devastating, it's important to underscore, lawless ruling by Trump's justices. Yesterday was a day of joy and jubilation. April 16th was a day of joy and jubilation. It gave hope not only to our Haitian neighbors, but to any TPS holder. Today is a devastating day and one of palpable fear. That being said, the fight is not over. This is a devastating comma in our fight to maintain the safety and integrity of the families of TPS holders throughout this country. It's a devastating comma. It is not a finite period. When our discharge petition passed the House, we then worked with Senator Ed Markey and Senator Lisa Blunt Rochester to be the Senate leads in taking this bill up in the Senate. So there's several options here. One, this administration still has time to reverse course and do the right thing. We should call on them to do that. Secondly, the Senate needs to bring this bill to the floor.
That's right.
And we need to keep the pressure up for that to happen. Again, it's a devastating comma, not a finite period. And then finally, for the purposes of the record, I do think it's very important to underscore that Haitian TPS holders are not the problem. This administration and these co-conspirating Supreme Court justices are always a solution in search of a problem. TPS holders are not the problem. Our Haitian neighbors are not the problem, quite the contrary. They are a part of the solution. The caregiving crisis impacts families throughout America. Our seniors need care to age with dignity and community. It is Haitian TPS holders who disproportionately serve as caregivers and home health aides. It was a Haitian nurse who prayed over my mother in the final chapters of her life in her cancer battle. It was a Haitian nurse who oiled her scalp and lovingly braided her hair and massaged her feet. And that is the story for so many of us. And with this lack of affordable housing, it leading to an increase in eviction and a decrease in home ownership, it is Haitian TPS holders who are part of the solution as construction workers helping to build our housing supply. Let me repeat, Haitian TPS holders are not the problem. They support our families, our economy, our culture, our country. They are your neighbors, your co-workers, the people you work with, the people you worship with, the people you know and love. This ruling is lawless, unjust, and we cannot let it stand. And I just want you to know, to every TPS holder, the 1.3 million TPS holders, your humanity, your dignity, and your worth are not defined by the opinion of cruel, elitist, and wealthy conservatives on the Supreme Court or in the White House.
Right.
America is still your home. America is still your home. And this fight is not over. This ruling is a rubber stamp. It's a rubber stamp for a cruel and callous administration that seeks to separate families, traumatize children, profit off their pain, and deport them even if they did nothing wrong and committed no crime. Ending TPS for Haitians and Syrians in this ruling endangers all TPS holders, Venezuelans, Hondurans, Ukrainians, and others.
That's right.
So I will close there again. We celebrated on April 16th. We celebrated with the World Cup yesterday. Today is a devastating comma, not a finite period, and we will celebrate again.
I'm Congressman Gregory Meeks from New York, and I happen to be the ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. And just as soon as January comes, I'm sure I will be the chairman of that committee. And I'm just here, I'm not gonna stay long because you're hearing from many of us. But what I'm gonna say, we all have our job to do. We got our work to do. We are not going to allow the injustice that this Justice Department and this Supreme Court has put forward. We're not going to sit down and lay down and say that we're not going to do anything. We're going to fight until we win.
Right.
Until we win. And I'm here to pledge that as the ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, we will continue to raise this issue. We will continue to fight. We will continue to make sure that all of God's children, because we know that injustice that's taking place here is a threat to justice everywhere, and it takes good people to stand up to make sure that justice is had, and justice means that our individuals, the Haitians and the Syrians and other TPS holders, live in this country that they have helped make greater. I want to say thank you because they said we couldn't do it. But this lady,
That's right.
Congresswoman Presley, said, yes, we can. We're going to pass this. It took some time. She kept doing it till we passed it. And yes, we can. We're going to keep doing it until justice is served. And everybody that have served this country and everybody that's here because of danger to themselves and their families know that the United States of America is better than what this court and that president presents us to be. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We will. Yes, we can. We will. Yes, we will. Member Governor.
I I want to thank Congresswoman Presley for her incredible leadership. But I have to tell you, I am so angry. I am so pissed off that we have to be here today. Today's ruling is harmful, it is ridiculous, and it is just plain cruel. I mean, Trump chose to end these protections as part of his war on legal immigration, and the Supreme Court just rubber stamped it. What the hell is wrong with these people? How cruel can you be? I'm ashamed of this government. I'm ashamed of this court. You know, people all over the world look to the United States with hope that we will stand up and we will defend human rights, right? That is what people think of when they think of the United States, that's their hope, that we will be a defender of human rights. But because of what Trump did and because of what this court did, we are no longer regarded as a defender of human rights, but an abuser of human rights. Look at Haiti is not a safe place to return. We all know that. The State Department has said that. And I just want to point out one other thing. Your TPS holders contribute almost $6 billion to our economy every year and pay $1.5 billion in taxes. That's $1.5 billion more than the trillionaire Elon Musk pays in taxes. The bottom line is our whole country benefits from Haitians and all TPS holders. The final thing I'm going to say is we're going to fight. We're going to fight like hell. Here's the message to Trump, and here's a message to the people in the Supreme Court. We're not going away. We're going to fight you bastards with every ounce of energy we have, and we're going to win. I'm not happy to.
If we could, yes, we really want to say thank you to all of our members of Congress for your leadership, for your partnership. We thank you for being in this fight with us, and we thank you for recognizing the impact on the community. And so we need to make sure we hear from the community. We're here. We need to make sure that we hear directly from our impacted community members what they are facing. So I want to call up Sandhya from United for TPS for Nepal. Sandhya, please come on up. We need to hear from you. There you go. There you go. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sandhya Lama. I'm a Nepali TPS holder, a single mom of 3 US children, and a proud member of UTPS in Nepal. For more than a decade, I have lived, worked, paid taxes, and raised my family in the United States of America. Like thousands of other TPS holders, I have followed every rule. I registered when required, passed every background check, renewed my status every time the government asked me to and built my life here. My children call America home. My eldest child requires ongoing specialized medical care that would extremely difficult, if not impossible, to access if we were forced to leave. Today, my family and thousands of family like mine are living with tremendous fear and uncertainty. We have spent years contributing to our communities, supporting our local economies, and raising the next generations of Americans. Yet, our future remains tied to a legal status that has been called temporary, even after more than a decade of lawful residence. Our lives are not temporary. Our contributions are not temporary. Our families are not temporary. We are parents, workers, homeowners, business owners, neighbors, and community members who have become part of the fabric of this country. As disappointing as today's Supreme Court decision, we respectfully remind all our elected leaders that only Congress has the authority to provide a permanent solution. The court has decided whether TPS continues or ends, but they cannot provide the stability and certainty that our families desperately need. Congress can. Congress has acted when it recognized that long-term residents who have contributed to this country deserved a pathway to permanent. We are asking Congress to do the same for TPS holders today, not tomorrow, not next week, but today.
Right. Right.
This is not just an immigration issue. It is a family issue. It is an economic issue. It is moral issue. If TPS ends without a legislative solution, family will be separated. Children will suffer. Employers will lose trusted workers, and communities will lose valued members. We're not asking for specific treatment. We're asking for recognition of the lives we have built, the contribution we have made, and the future we hope to continue building in the only home may of our children have ever known. To members of Congress from both parties, I ask, please do not allow thousands of families to fall into uncertainty after years of lawful presence and contribution. The time for a permanent solution is now.
Yes.
Our lives are not temporary. Our future should not be temporary either. Thank you.
What do we want? TPS. What do we want it? No. What do we want? TPS. What do we want it? Sandia, thank you so much for sharing with us your story. Thank you for reminding us the importance of the fight for TPS. Your lives are not temporary. Our lives are not temporary. Our future cannot be temporary either. We need permanent protection and we need it now. Thank you so much. Y ahora vamos a escuchar de nuestro compañero, el señor Pedro, with National TPS Alliance. Pedro, please come on up.
Sí se puede. Tengan muy buenas tardes a todos, compañeros, y yo soy un beneficiario del TPS y me siento muy indignado.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am a TPS recipient and I feel very disappointed
Por la decisión que ahora se ha tomado aquí en la corte.
from the decision that has come down from the Supreme Court.
Lo que veo es lo que han construido este país, que ahora la ley la han construido políticamente.
What I've seen from people that have literally built this country, they have managed to turn it into a political decision.
Y no es lo que queremos para este país.
And it's not what we want for this country.
Tengo 27 años de vivir en este país
I have 27 years of living in this country.
y nunca había visto algo así.
And I have never seen or witnessed anything like this.
Pero quisiera decirles a todos los beneficiarios del TPS
But I want to let all the TPS holders and beneficiaries know
que no se sientan destruidos,
to
que
not,
sigan adelante,
to not feel destroyed, but to keep going.
que vamos a ganar.
That we will win.
Thank you so much. Please understand, those TPS holders have been paying into their taxes. That's right. And if we allow this court, this country, this government to take away their status, they will lose everything. This is so unfair. So many different levels: family separation, deportation, loss of income, a degrading workforce, and their investment into our lives taken away. With that being said, I am going to introduce another amazing justice warrior, Representative Jayapal.
Thank you so much, everybody. Pedro, thank you so much for sharing your story with us and for reminding us that this movement is strong and resilient, and we are going to continue until we win justice for all TPS holders. My name is Pramila Jayapal. I am the Congresswoman for Seattle, Washington. I am a proud first-generation immigrant who came to this country at 16 years old. I now am one of just a few dozen naturalized citizens to serve in Congress. And the most important part is that when we take back the House, I will be the chair of the Immigration Subcommittee. And we intend to pass permanent protections and a path to citizenship for TPS holders. We intend to pass permanent protections for our immigrant families with humane and comprehensive immigration reform. This was an immoral, unjust, illegal, in my opinion, decision from this MAGA right Supreme Court. And what they have done is put at risk not only the 330,000 Haitians who are here under TPS, not only the 6,600 Syrians who are here under TPS, but the 1.3 million TPS holders across this country who are literally in our communities, building our communities, participating in all the essential functions that we need to survive. And when Ayanna Presley, who has been the most incredible leader on Haitian TPS, thank you to my sister in the struggle, put that discharge petition on the floor. And when it passed with bipartisan support, I hope you all know that it was a recognition of the humanity of TPS holders, of the humanity of all of our Haitian community and all the TPS holders who are here, because what we understand is that TPS was designed for people who were in this country legally and then had something happen in their communities at home, in their home country, that made it impossible for them to return without fearing death or starvation or any of the other things that happen. And so this program is about our responsibility as the United States of America to not send people home to their death, to not send people to countries where there are wars, where it is the highest level of travel advisory for so many people who now face terrible, terrible situations and choices to make. So today, as we are here, I want to end by telling you that I'm here as a community organizer. I've been with Casa Maryland and with the TPS Alliance on the streets. I've been arrested with you all for decades now. And now I'm just organizing on the inside, hopefully soon to be chair of the committee that will have jurisdiction over this issue. But what I know as an organizer, no matter where we sit, is that when people think that they have buried us, we are just growing more power, more sprouts, more serious energy that we are going to bring to this fight. And when they think that they have devastated us, just as Pedro just said, we know that hopelessness and powerlessness are tools of the oppressor.
That's right.
And we are not going to be oppressed with hopelessness or powerlessness. We are going to be strengthened with organizing in our communities, just like these groups have been doing every day, just like Ayanna Pressley did in the House of Representatives, just like we are going to do in the Senate to get them to pass that Haitian TPS bill, and just like we are all going to do together when we ultimately get back power and we reform this court so that it actually represents justice for the people of the United States. Thank you so much, everybody, for continuing their fight. And let's go win. Se puede.
I am fired up, fired up. Thank you so much, Representative Jacob. Thank you for being in the streets with us for all these years. And thank you for doing the work of fighting for justice for our people. Thank you. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you all another member of the National TPS Alliance. Claudia, adelante.
My name is Claudia Rojas. I am a member of the National TPS Alliance, and I am a TPS holder from El Salvador. I have been here before the Supreme Court before. This is not my first time. I have been in the halls of Congress. I have been in meetings with legislative assistants and Congress members. So this is not the first time that I am here, and the fight has been long. I am the daughter of a single mother, and I have a master's degree in fine arts and creative writing. I have been in the education field, and I currently work in the nonprofit field. If I were to return to El Salvador against my will, I would have a high school diploma there. That would be the equivalent. So a lot of talent will be lost if Congress does not protect the TPS community. So I want to call on all Congress to stand with us, to unite, because there is so much at loss for the entire US. We are the caretakers, we are the educators, we are your neighbors, we are your friends. So Congress has had 10 years, 20 years to make a permanent pathway for TPS holders to apply to TPS. The way that it is right now, you have very limited pathways. So we need a permanent solution. And then I want to finally speak to the TPS community. I want to speak to the Venezuelan community who just had an earthquake. And I want to speak to the National TPS Alliance members. I want to let you all know, this is not over. We are here because we're going to fight harder. The loss today is not going to stop us. We have been organizing for decades. We have seen children grow up. We have seen ourselves age, and we are not going to stop organizing. This is also a call to join the movement, to participate more, and united, we're not going to be defeated, because el pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
Thank you so much, hermana, from Venezuela to Nicaragua, from El Salvador to Haiti to Cameroon to Ethiopia to Somali. We understand the 1.3 million people who continues to move America forward deserve protection. With that being said, I'm going to invite my brother Amos from Cameroon to come and speak.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Oui, nous pouvons. Oui, nous pouvons. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amos, and I am a proud member of We Are Casa, an immigrant from Cameroon who has called this country my home for a couple of years now. I stand here today with TPS holders and immigrant families. Many countries across the world who have been affected by this decision. People from places like Cameroon, my own country, Haiti, Venezuela, Sudan, Afghanistan, El Salvador, and beyond, people who came here because home was not safe. And most of the conditions that made their homes unsafe haven't changed. In fact, in some cases, they are deteriorating, as I will share with you. Today, we face a painful reality coming out of the Supreme Court, which means family who build their lives here, who work, who pay taxes, who raise children, and who contribute to this country every single day are now being told that their protection may no longer exist. But let us be clear about one thing. Nothing about the conditions that force people to flee in the first place have simply disappeared. Across the world, TPS exists because of war, political instability, natural disasters, and humanitarian crises. These are not temporary inconveniences. They are life-threatening realities. We are talking about 1.3 million people going back into the shadows after having work permits for decades here. Now, this may look like some information we are reading, and it looks like some newspaper article. I want to be real with the situation of my country. And of course, in the age of artificial intelligence, Google and so on, you will get the facts. I come from Cameroon, where TPS was granted after Congress has done a study of the situation, a devastating situation of Cameroon for the past 1 decade. And for the past 10 years, Cameroon has been engaged in a conflict, an armed conflict that has caused millions to move out of the country. Some are on exile. For the records, the president of my country, who is now 93 years old, is in a hospital in Switzerland. He doesn't even know what is happening. And the situation in Cameroon is just getting worse by the day. And this is the country where we want 8,000 Cameroonians who were here on TPS to return to. I'm just sharing this because this is a true story. And this is the story of TPS, is the story of so many other people from so many other countries, the 1.3 million people. So these are the realities. This is not paperwork. So today's ruling does not erase our dignity. It does not erase the reasons TPS was created in the first place. And it does not erase our responsibility to stand together. On a serious note, in most of these countries, the Department of Homeland Security tells American citizens not to travel to those places, but they want us to go back to those very places, and they know they are not safe. I stand here today as a TPS holder who once lost his status due to this administration ending TPS for Cameroon. I was working and supporting my family. But when TPS for Cameroon was terminated last year in August, I stopped work. And this is now almost 12 years or 12 months after I can find work. This is the story for everybody who has been under TPS, and this is happening. I really want to thank again the Congress people for what they have said, the congressmen and women, and I think we will not all be listening to the courts. Let Congress act, because TPS in the first place was a decision of Congress, not the courts. Right. Yes. I know what it feels like to have your sense of belonging stripped away overnight. But let me be clear, I matter, we matter, and we belong here. Yes. We are not temporary. We are workers. Right. We are parents. We are part of this country. Yes. We may have lost in the courts, but we have not lost our voice. And to demand protection for everybody. Right. Yes. Because no legal decision can undo the reality that made
cruel and inhumane in the decision that they made. I want you all to know temporary protected status saves lives. 17 countries depend on temporary protected status today. Many of our immigrant neighbors, if they are forced, again, to go to their native land, they will die. They will get sick. Many of them are these are inhumane conditions, again, where our own country is telling their own citizens not to travel there. So I think it's so important as you all continue to push back. I come from the most beautiful, blackest city in the country, the city of Detroit. Hey. Yes, where corrupt institutions like this that were built to protect people that look like us, or the institution that I work in, the United States Congress, wasn't built to, again, protect people like us. But what has over and over again worked, from the civil rights movement to being able to organize unions, is when the outside makes them move, when the outside organizes and pushes back against it. I know this president and these justices, the ones who, again, decided to take this access to temporary protected status away from our Haitian and Syrian neighbors, they haven't spoken to our immigrant neighbors. They haven't understood the detrimental impact that they will have. But I know what this is all about. It's not just the cruelty. It's also about the money. Because they're going to take our Haitian and Syrian immigrants and they're going to put them in the for-profit detention cages around our country, many of which who contributed to this corrupt president, many of which right now they'll put them in there because they'll make money. They'll make money off of the bodies and in the humane, again, cages that are across our country. One in my own district, my own state district in Michigan, the largest one. GEO Group is complaining right now to the Trump administration that they're not making enough money. So they're repealing this temporary protected status. They're going to literally go door to door, take our immigrant neighbors from us, separate families, do it in such a cruel, violent way. And they're going to put them in these cages and they're going to make money off the backs of our immigrant neighbors. So I say shame. Shame to this corrupt, again, U.S. Supreme Court that continues to, again, support corporations and special interest group in this fascist government. So all of the We Are Casa to the TPS coalition continue to fight. My city has reminded me over and over again, it matters. I don't think Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley was able to even move this bill, but for the movement work outside of Congress, because of all the work that you all did. We would have never got 8 Republicans to also support that discharge petition that made it possible. So I stand with all of you and know this: when you all speak truth to power on the outside, you give credibility to myself, credibility to the members of Congress that continue to raise the awareness of how important it is to have a humane, just, fair immigration system. With that, I gotta introduce you to a powerhouse, and she really is. She has hit the ground running. Her lived experience is so needed in the United States Congress. She comes from a community that understands that we are a nation of immigrants, that we are literally the reason that our communities can thrive is because of our immigrant neighbors and our immigrant families. With that, help me introduce Arizona's own Adelita Garava.
Our immigrant communities are resilient, strong, and we are united. La gente unida jamás será vencida. The people united will never be divided. Merecemos justicia, dignidad y paz. We want justice, dignity, and peace. That's not a lot to ask for an immigrant community that has done everything exactly the way this nation has told you to do it, have followed every single rule. And what this administration and the Supreme Court has done is an injustice to everyone, because this nation is built on the labor of immigrants. We are a tapestry and part of this community. I am the proud granddaughter of a bracero from Mexico, a hardworking Mexican immigrant who came to this country for an opportunity for a better life. And I'm the daughter of a member of Congress. That happened in one generation because of hard work, opportunity, and public education. That's what we all want for our children. We have lived in this country. Many of you are just as American as I am. Many of you have lived in this country longer than my children. They deserve an America that is going to fight for them. So we need to remind this court and this administration that we are not outsiders. Immigrants are not outsiders. We are part of this nation. Los inmigrantes son parte de nuestra historia, nuestro presente y nuestro futuro. Immigrants are part of our history, past and present, and future. And mi abuelo vino a este país buscando una oportunidad como millones de inmigrantes y ayudó a construir esta nación. Especially during Immigrant Heritage Month. That's what we're in right now, right? While communities across America are honoring generations of immigrants who helped build this country, Trump and his administration and this court are choosing fear, cruelty, and division. So the Trump administration can attack immigrants all they want. They cannot erase our stories. No pueden borrar sus historias. They cannot erase our contributions. They cannot erase the truth that immigrants helped build this country and they continue to make America stronger every single day. Y siempre estaré con ellos y con ustedes. I will never stop fighting alongside our immigrant communities. Muchas gracias. La lucha sigue.
Yes, thank you so much. I hope everyone here just feels so inspired and feels so motivated. We had the shock this morning, the disappointment this morning, and you know what we have right now? We have the energy, we have the motivation, because we know that we will continue to fight and we will continue to fight together. And I want to say one thing and then pass it on to my sister to close us out. We talked about TPS a lot today. We're talking about the TPS case specifically. But let's remember that this is not an isolated decision.
Right.
This is not an isolated incident. This is a coordinated campaign and attack on our immigrant community.
Right.
Another decision this morning, the Supreme Court, the highest court of this land, said that this country can turn away asylum seekers at the border.
Shame!
Over and over again, all summer, we have received decision after decision after decision that essentially co-signs the racist, white supremacist attacks of this administration. We are under attack. But when immigrants are under attack, what do? When immigrants are under attack, what do? When immigrants are under attack, what do? We will continue standing up and fighting back. We will not back down and we will win.
That's right. I think with that being said, we want to say thank you so much to the TPS Alliance, CASA, African Youth Together, Haitian Youth Alliance, all our partners, members of Congress for standing with and on behalf of impacted people. Please understand, we have a government whose goal is simply to divide and conquer and destroy, destroy, destroy. Therefore, we stay strong, undeterred, committed to the fight of saving the lives of those impacted people, again from Nicaragua, to Haiti, to Venezuela, to all the people who are in need right now. And we understand that birthright citizenship is also on the balance. And those are the children of TPS holders, DACA recipients, and others. We will not allow Trump and his administration and the Supreme Court to take away the very lives of the people. Right. Again, thank you for being here. Please call on your senators to make sure they vote yes to support the discharge petition to allow a TPS extension for 3 years for Haitians that will give way to other communities. When we fight, we win. Thank you so much.